difficulties of professional sports compared to regular jobs, and why professional sports are more difficult. So the context will be the reason for the main argument. The reasons will be why the main argument is correct. The counterclaim and rebuttal will explain why the main argument might be incorrect and why the counterclaim is incorrect. And the conclusion will tie all the reasons together. So the context. The reasons for the main argument are that athletes, professional athletes in particular, feel more stress from external sources such as family and friends, and those cause more poor play than usual. The next reason being that the athletes need to be in peak physical condition and mental condition. The next reason being that poor play caused by stress leads to more criticism, and the criticism can lead to more injury, stress, and possibly early retirements. The first main reason as to why the main argument is correct is that family and friends will give extra anxiety or stress will be caused from external sources, which will lead to possible injury. First quote from Stuart Biddle, who is a professor of physical activity and health, states that frequencies and effect size calculations show associations of varying magnitude between a task orientation and beliefs that effort produces success or positive association, and that motivates skill development and team membership beliefs. That the purpose of sport is for fostering mastery, fitness, self-esteem, etc., and that will lead to negative association. When a player is motivated, which is good, positive association, he'll play well, he won't be stressed. And however, when a player is not motivated, that'll lead to negative association, which will lead to possible injuries and mental health issues. The next reason being that athletes need to be in and stay in peak physical condition. This is according to Alexander Dalal, who is a doctor of sports science and a research doctor of education. He states that 20 international players play 20 amateur players. Heart rate, blood lactate, effort perception of perceived exertion, and physical performance were measured, and across all the players, amateurs completed lower percentage of passes at a higher heart rate and covered less distance than the pros. The pros, what this basically means is that the pros have worked longer to achieve a goal of theirs, and their whole life has led up to it. Therefore, their results will be better. The third reason is according to David Aldridge, who is an analyst with ESPN. He said, the third reason is that when there's an overload of stress, the performance of an athlete will go down over time. The first quote coming from David Aldridge, who is an analyst with ESPN, he quoted Michael Jordan saying that after he retired physically, he was exhausted. Mentally, he was way past exhausted. This proves that the mental game is way more important than the physical game. The next quote coming from Tim Daniels, who is an analyst with ESPN. After this, he quoted LeBron James after the 2011 NBA Finals. He quoted Jordan saying that LeBron saying that the level of scrutiny he was dealing with, he lost love for the game. This again proves why mental health is easily damaged when being barraged with hate comments and criticism. Third, next, the counterclaim and the rebuttal. The counterclaim is that athletes do not have a hard job because they get insane amounts of compensation, and the fact that youth sports are just as dangerous in some instances. This is backed up by the author D.R. Webb. He states that professional athletes have as much difficulty playing the sport as youth athletes do. He said that the rate of injury is probably rather low comparable to many youthful activities considered safe. The author, Webb, works in the St. Francis Memorial Hospital in the Center of Sports. However, the rebuttal is that The game at the pro level moves much faster than at the youth level, and most of the time, the athletes have to work for their compensation. This is backed up by Gianmarco Ciocca, who has a PhD in sports science. He states that situational team sports, such as soccer, are complex activities involving a combination of physical, cognitive, tactical, psychological, and emotional skills. Such activities require players to constantly monitor the dynamic and ever-changing game environment, retrieve and analyze the most relevant info to quickly make the most appropriate choice according to teammates, opponent behaviors, and other space-time variables. Now, all this tied together could mean that professional sports are more difficult than regular jobs, because obviously there's the need that they need to have top-tier mental health, top-tier physical health, and they need to be able to take criticism from other external sources, including maybe possibly family and friends. And the work side of it.